so let us start. It is with great pleasure that TALOS Labs hosts a hybrid lecture by Dr. Stavros Eleftherakis from NYU in Abu Dhabi, who will be talking to us about cybersecurity and citizen science, building digital resilience together. And let me say a few things about your very interesting CV, Stavros. Stavros Eleftherakis is a postdoc at the Cybersecurity and Privacy Lab of New York University, Abu Dhabi. He completed his MSc and PhD degrees in Telematics Engineering from Universidad Carlos III de Madrid in 2021 and 2025. He also holds an MSc in Applied and Computational Mathematics 2020 and a Bachelor's in Mathematics 2017 from the University of Crete. From 2022 to 2025, he worked as a research assistant at IMDEA Networks Institute in Madrid. He has also held research internships at Telefónica Research in Barcelona, Ericsson Research in Sweden, and his research focuses on cybersecurity, positioning systems, and AI, with publications in top-tier venues and contribution to industrial patents. Stavros, you have the floor.
So thanks a lot for the invitation and the kind introduction. I'm really happy to be here and give a talk to University of Crete after 6-7 years. It's also my first time in Rethymno. The title of the talk is Cybersecurity and Citizen Science, Building the Digital Resilience Together. I will try to analyze how social science can be combined with cybersecurity. That's even if Maria gave an excellent introduction, I finished the PhD in telematics in Spain last year. My PhD research is about positioning system and wireless security. Positioning systems are systems that estimate your geographical location where you are connected in some network, 5G or Wi-Fi. And since location is a privacy-preserving feature, a privacy-sensitive feature, I also focus to the wireless security part. In the industrial experience, my first work was at Telefónica Research, where we analyzed 4G, 5G security characteristics, and in Ericsson, Sweden, I analyzed how 5G positioning is performed in commercial 5G deployments. I'm now a postdoctoral researcher in the Cybersecurity and Privacy Lab in New York University in Abu Dhabi, with research focus on satellite security and secure positioning. So the talk roadmap that I have prepared, first of all, we will give a brief introduction about cybersecurity. We are going to continue with a list of cyber threats that I categorize into human interaction attacks and network-based attacks. And in the end, we will close with a discussion and some final remarks. First of all, starting with our introduction, cybersecurity is everywhere, and why this happens. When you receive an SMS in your mobile phone, directly you think, can I trust this message? The same thing for a website. Can we trust a specific website that we have in our browser? When you connect to some network, right, to enter to start browsing internet, can you trust the Wi-Fi infrastructure? Can you trust the 5G infrastructure? And also, when you give your data to your browser, to internet, can you trust that your data are protected? So cybersecurity is a part of our digital life. The ecosystem of cybersecurity consists of several players. First of all, the individual users, right? All of us that we browse internet and we use the digital services. Organizations. For example, University of Crete, and every university offers an institutional email and several digital services. Technology providers. Samiko, okay. Technology providers, I mean companies like Google, like Ericsson, like Nokia, that they build services and hardware. Network operators, of course, are a separate part, like Vodafone, like Telefónica, like Cosmote. You connect to the internet through their infrastructures. Authorities, first of all, we have the digital authorities, as we saw also before in the meeting. Standardization bodies are digital authorities, and also authorities, human authorities, that you may report incidents that you experience in your digital life. Researchers, there are several research groups all over the world about cybersecurity. And of course, adversaries or intruders, hackers, that they try to steal information or deny services and create problems to your internet experience. The research questions that we are going to try to answer. First of all, what kind of attacks should citizens and organizations be aware of, which is really important. What can the different players that we saw in the previous slide, what they can do to reduce these risks, protecting users, and how can the different players mutually contribute to cybersecurity through citizen science. So I try to define a triptych: awareness, you know the attacks; protection, you try to protect yourself or your organization tries to protect you; and mutual contribution, how you can also help other users through your experience and navigation to the digital service. So the first part, human interaction attacks, right? These are really common and the most common ones, and they are attacks that try to exploit human decisions, trust, or lack of knowledge. Common ones: phishing, when you receive some suspicious emails; password reuse, that they try to steal your emails and enter your services; and fake news exploitation, which is a really trendy, we can say, attack during the last 2-3 years. They affect users and organizations, and both entities should follow some guidelines that I will try to analyze. First of all, phishing attack, how it works. While you are at home or during your office, you navigate internet through your PC or your phone, really simple. You connect to the Wi-Fi, right, most of the time, and you connect directly to the internet. So what happens is that suddenly an adversary appears and you receive some phishing email, SMS, or fake website. Many times it has happened to all people. So the first really common case here, you receive a message from the Bank of America. The Bank of America informs you that you have that 4 transactions have been made with your account, and they propose you to click on this link, through letters, right, Trust America Bank, and reset your password. This is the most common, maybe, phishing email with different, the only thing that they will change is the name of the bank. Another case here, SMS, right? Amazon now congratulates you about some kind of present that you received, and they also add one link. Here, another common scenario, the website suddenly, there's one pop-up screen, and they inform you that there is a virus in your system, and they strangely ask your phone. So how can we protect from such attacks? First of all, there is the user side, right? Things that we should all do to avoid these problems. First of all, you should check if the sender is legitimate, right? And if the message that they send you makes some sense. So let's see. Here, the Bank of America, where is the sender? It appears the first one from the email. As you see here with yellow, this email cannot be legitimate, right? You expect authentication mail, okay, at Trust America. This 7 means that they didn't have, of course, the access to the real email, to the legitimate email, and they made a fake email similar to the real one, and they try to steal your information. This is the most important for me. If you see a strange email, it's 99% that it is a phishing attempt. Does what they say make sense? They say 4 new transactions have been made with your account. Okay, this can make sense. But if you pay something, right, through your card, and you have the application in your phone, the application will send you an official message through the channel of the application. So also what they say doesn't make sense, right? And the third one is the third step, never open the link. If you open this link, they will try to steal the password of your bank application. Here, again, you receive, typically they say that you received some presents from Amazon. This number cannot be legitimate, right? If you receive a message from Amazon, it will say Amazon Web Services and not a random phone number. If you search for this phone number, it is a spam number. You can write the number in Google, directly it will show you that it is a spam number. So you never open the links that they give you. And here, the third one, they say that you have some virus in your PC. First of all, you see right on the right part, it says AVC, which is a fake antivirus, right? The real antivirus is called AVG. So the sender is not legitimate. But also, normally, if a virus lives in your PC, I expect that they will not ask your phone number, right, as they do here. So you never give importance to these things. What you do is that you can report the suspicious messages through official channels and warn others through trusted platforms. There are such platforms in the web. The Google Chrome and Firefox offers you opportunities to report these such websites also. And really important, even if it's strange, but I know this from my experience, if you receive a message in your organization email, try also to talk to your colleagues, because 95% that's the same email with minor differences have been sent also to other colleagues. And why I say this? Now we go to the organization side. It is clear in literature that you receive more fake emails in the institutional email, unfortunately. And why this happens? First of all, you see this example here, name.surname@domain.com. In my case, Stavros.Eleftherakis @nyu.edu, for instance. It's really easy. All the websites of public, especially organizations, offer an easily readable form of the email to all people. And the adversary enters the website of the University of Crete or other university, copy directly all the emails, and they send to all. A first solution can be from the organization, and we had proposed it many times also in Spain, that you don't give the easy format, the easy format that can be understood directly from the machine, but you give the second one, which is the same, but adding the word dot, at, and making this more confusing. This can minimize the number of phishing emails that an organization receives. That being said, even if you follow the second format of your email, the adversaries can easily find at some point your name, surname, and the domain of your institution. So the institution has to do these steps. We need spam detection algorithms, updated ones, and we should also check the accuracy of these algorithms. It's a responsibility of each organization, and a spam detection algorithms, for instance, should have an accuracy of around 94%, that's if I remember well. And many times, I think last year also in Spain, we changed the spam detector. We were not satisfied by the previous one, and we changed our phishing detector in our emails, and we were receiving after that less phishing emails. Second attack, really common, password reuse attacks. Here, you have your Gmail. We all have Gmail. We have Google Pay, right, or some similar application. We have our university account. We have Amazon Web Services account to buy several things. We have our social media accounts. And unfortunately, we use the same password for all different services. Many people do this, and maybe also I have also made this mistake. So this is a red flag and should never be done, because what happens here is that if the intruder managed to learn somehow your password in Facebook. After that, he will manage to have access in all the different services that you use. And it's not difficult. Even when you write with your phone the password, somebody who may have, for instance, access to some camera, they may manage to separate the keyboard even if they don't see. They see a move of your hand in the center. They may know that there you have D, and they manage to break your systems. So there is, unfortunately, if we have one compromised service, this can affect many others, and this can be a very serious problem. So the solution here mainly, the organization can do some things. First of all, what we do in also now in Abu Dhabi, the multi-factor authentication, which means that when I enter the Gmail of my university, directly I have to use an application in my phone, which is called Duo Mobile, if I remember well, and they check that with my phone that it's me. And also the detection of abnormal behavior based on existing data. What I mean, here we are in Crete. I have an IP address in Rethymno now. If after 2 minutes I appear with an IP address in Germany, something has been broken because normally I cannot have access to VPN in Germany. So this can be an idea. These detectors, from my experience, need a lot of work, and they are still in preliminary level, but for sure it's an idea of detection. Humans, the most important now, different password for important services, and strong and unpredictable passwords. Never use your birth date, etc. This can be stolen in 1 hour, maybe even less. Fundamental. If, for instance, now I saw some MOOCs before, etc., some Coursera, Udemy, there you can use the same password. Nobody is interested in to steal our Coursera certificate and our Coursera passwords. But for banks, Gmails, etc., we should be more careful. We can use recovery mails. I have done it through in all my mails. Google Chrome and Gmail offer this opportunity. You can enable alerts for suspicious logins, right? If your browser detects that you are connected from another country, they can send you a message in your phone. And of course, such incidents are really important, especially if you have financial accounts broken. Directly report the incidents to responsible bodies. And if you feel that what has happened may cause financial loss directly, you can go also to the police. There is, as far as I know, in all countries, a digital crime station that can, the department that can help you with such incidents. Fake news attacks. This is a new type of attack, which has been boosted seriously by AI the last 2 or 3 years. Confusion, mistrust, social polarization. This is the first picture that I like a lot. It shows a fake hurricane in some area. It can show some fake fire alarms in some area. How this has been reinforced? First of all these fake images now, it's impossible to understand that they are fake. It's really difficult because they are tuned and retuned again and again by AI. And also AI now may make it even cleverer. They may try to isolate different vision angles in an area. So for instance, here in Rethymno, we start with this picture, and then after that the AI can move the picture 20 radians, can play and can create 10 or 15 excellent replicas, which make it more makes it even more real, we can say. And we should be really careful with these images. Or social polarization. A fake website tried to show that Google hates cats, and for some reasons they don't want cats. This was polarization against people who have pets. And until understanding that this was fake, there was some tension. Solutions here, it's really difficult. And first of all, from our side, we always check the source and the author. If a website if the author doesn't sign the article, we should not take it into consideration. Read beyond. If something such important happens, right? We have severe weather conditions and people die, etc., I expect that not only one website will refer to this. So we should always check for another source of information. Think also if what they say is a joke. Normally the cat situation maybe was a joke. They wanted to make some bad joke, I don't know. And if the information is false, we realize it, we should directly report the source. There are also here from the side of companies AI detectors of false images, etc. But it becomes tricky because adversarial AI attacks, they always improve, right? So even if I have a classifier that now can detect exactly with 98% that's the false images, maybe next week the adversaries improve their AI part. Moving beyond, right, the network-based attacks, which was also the second part of my PhD. In general, here, first of all, we should understand at a really high level what is how wireless communications work, right? So we have all of us some smart devices, right? A PC is a smart device, the smartphone is a smart device, of course. You may have your watch that you use for your training. You may have even IoT devices, which we can put them, for instance, here to detect fire and notify the authorities. And we use very, very many digital applications. Smart health, for instance, can be used for our training. Smart navigation in our car. Smart public transport, they show you where is the bus and what's the time that you should wait. Smart bike sharing, taxi sharing between several people, or these are applications. Even Pokemon Go in Sweden, they were playing a lot. Virtual reality applications, and of course some more professional smart agriculture and smart factories. And this is the user side, right? The user has the smart devices and they try to run several applications. You can think very many different applications. Then you connect where? You connect to some, what I call 4G, 5G base station. This is the base station. These are some antennas actually that your operator, Vodafone Cosmote, built. And that's how you connect to the internet, right? There are here also in the campus very many antennas of Vodafone. And more futuristic, we have started also connecting directly to satellites now through the projects of Starlink, etc. So this is what I call network access components, right? That's how we connect to the our operator infrastructure. There are several steps after some. So I have to say that all this part is standardized by a regulatory body called 3GPP. They meet every at least 2 months and they exactly explain how these processes should work and exactly what security should be offered to different users. And after that, we are ready to connect to the internet. There is, of course, the core network and other data centers, but we are not interested. So at a high level, this is the wireless communications, the wireless connectivity part. And we have observed that here in this interface between the base station of the operator and the user, there are several adversarial attacks. And let me show you some of them. The first one, which was a really common attack between 2G and 4G networks. So we can say between 2004 and 2020, around 20 years. The first paper was sure, if I remember well, 2004, Mayer. And what happens here? Every smartphone, first of all, and every device, they have one permanent identifier that is called, now is called permanent equipment identity, or PEI. This is manufactured in the chipset of the device when this is written in the chipset during manufacturing, and is the identifier of the device. It is a rule, every device has one identifier. The second one, your SIM card, when you buy your SIM card and you pay your bills so that you connect, the company should know who you are, should know if you have paid, and accept you let you use the services. So that's why we have also the several user identifiers. The most important is the International Mobile Subscriber Identity, IMCI. Now I think it's called SUPI. It's not important. What we should know is that both the device and the SIM card have one identifier, which is permanent. So what was happening here while you were connected to the antenna, suddenly the adversary was coming. Keep in mind that the attackers have the capability of building fake networks. So he was you were receiving a message, send me your IMCI pay. Directly, they were stealing our permanent IDs. This has been done very many times, and has been also, such attacks have been also identified in Washington, DC, in the capital of US, with, I think that they had operated around 20 devices like this, and they were trying to steal the identifiers of presidents, etc. So what standardization bodies, providers, and operators introduced, IMCI and pay are never transmitted now without cryptographic protection. And we use temporary identifiers instead of these ones. And we have also, in the late 5G networks, we have started building anomaly detection techniques to identify such attacks. I expect that during the next year with 6G, there will be also one layer of anomaly detection in our protocol. So after solving the attack of permanent identifiers, adversaries came back. So how it works now, we send that you connect to the network. Now the network recognizes you, and they say that, okay, for me now, you are called 2468. This is your ID, and I will use this ID to communicate with you until you reconnect. So how the adversaries change strategy now? You always receive messages, let's say, with this temporary ID, and the adversary appears, uses this device called sniffer or decoder. This device can hear what you say. This is the idea of this device. And if you buy a commercial one, it's really expensive, but it can be built with a cheap amount, a low amount of money, maybe. And now I can say maximum 20K, you can build a good one for 5G networks that can do these attacks, can perform these attacks. So they were trying now to get your IDs continuously. So what the regulatory bodies, providers, and operators decided that we change these identifiers now frequently. And I repeat, what's the idea of this attack? If I continuously manage to hear what you say with your identifiers, everyone means, I know where you are. That's why I call it location tracking attack. And that's why they decided to change these IDs every 5 or 10 minutes. So here I want to make one small summary for such attacks. As we saw, for 20 years, we had this kind of attack where the adversary was asking, send me your identity. It was receiving the identity. We proceeded in early 5G version some years ago. Send me your IMCI. No, it understood the problem. The new protocols understand this attack. And now the attacker changed strategy, changed the hardware it uses, and it tries to search for the new temporary IDs of 5G. Solution is that we should change them more often, but for me the important thing is not to remember these details, right? These are technical. The important things, that's why I show these 3 slides. Not only networks improve, right? We started from 2G, 3G, now we're in 5G, we go to 6G with satellites, etc. But also attackers evolve over time, and that's why I believe that the adversarial attacks will be always an issue. DNS spoofing attack, this is a very practical attack and very common again. So when you are connected again to the internet, right, you need a satellite, the GPS satellite in the US, Galileo in Europe, these are called GNSS, to get your location. That's how you get your location in your phone. So what they do here, the adversary here interferes and they manage to send you somehow fake GPS location. The results are two. There are two results. Either we have denial of service, that your GPS stopped working and you don't have any kind of navigation, or even worse, if they do it smartly, you may get a mistaken location. For instance, 3 months ago that I was in Abu Dhabi, my GPS continuously showing that I was in the sea, in the Arabic Gulf, and not in the area that I was living. So this is a common attack, unfortunately. What the user can do here, first of all, awareness, right? You should know the existence of this attack and don't panic. There are limited things that we can do. Precautionary measures. Even today that I came here and I know this route, I have done 20, 30 times in my life. I check the map to be sure about the route that I will follow and not be correlated to GPS. And keep in mind also that the geographical impact of such attacks is really limited. Most of the times they appear in areas where there is military equipment. So normally after 2, 3, 4 kilometers, you will not have any problem. The network side, we are working now with one of the students that we have in the group about detection techniques. We are in an early step. We need solutions that are AI solutions or other solutions that are applicable in the satellite, and it's not easy. And we are trying also to build the alternatives to the GNSS technologies so that we have another layer to send the location estimate to the smartphones. Downgrade attacks. So this kind of attacks, I don't put an image here. Think that you have paid, and we have paid for a 5G subscription, right? So suddenly you see your phone from 5G, you have 5G, but after 2 minutes you have 4G, then 3G, and if existing 2G. This is the idea of the downgrade attack. And why? First of all, if they manage to downgrade you to a 3G connection, let's say, you have weaker security than the one compared to the one that you have paid. And also you have worse services, right? You will not be able to run the majority of applications with a 3G connection. This is another really suspicious attack. So what in these cases you can do? Restart your phone, and I don't say this thing as a random from a random perspective. Restarting the phone may help because the hacker will lose the connection that has managed to establish with you. Sometimes a restart is useful. You should always check the phone settings. Sometimes if some update happens, etc., they may by mistake block the 4G, 5G connections. And if the problem is persistent, you should directly call your operator. This will be a really important call. And how you can understand, I say you are here and you know that you have a high quality connection of 5G. If you see a low connection suddenly, you should call them because, okay, if they improve the infrastructures, they update, etc., good. But if no, it means that somebody has managed to enter the network in an adversarial way. The network providers can do here. They can check the quality of service that you receive. They should check the quality of service per client and per every 2-3 minutes in order to be sure that this is safe. And of course, the integration of AI detection frameworks. As I say, I expect a very high number of AI additions to the 6G networks that are coming. Moving now to the last part, discussion and conclusion. I will try to briefly recap what we say and also add some future work. Citizen science in cybersecurity, the role of citizens. As we saw before, citizens can offer a lot of stuff that may be difficult to be understood by the side of operator or organization. You can report the scams. It's easier for you to report the scam than the organization to search and find the phishing emails. It's really easy to flag the website that you read that they are having fake news. You can observe suspicious networks. You can report disruptions, as we saw before, if you see the downgrade attacks. You can communicate always with colleagues. This is, from my experience, this is really important. And you should follow the guidelines given by authority. The role of organizations in the citizen science, they should monitor their services. As we saw in the beginning, if they see that the spam detector filter doesn't work well, they should upgrade services, collaborate with cybersecurity experts in order to get more knowledge, consider the feedback of employees, and really important, educate their employees through online seminars, online courses and seminars. And here, for instance, I put one photo of our university. I have many times passed such kind of courses. You see here, cybersecurity awareness training. After 20-25 minutes, you get some ideas about attacks that appear. It can be also in a MOOC level, like the UOC, the University of Crete MOOC courses. And from my experience, it's really important. The role of network providers, I mean both vendors that build infrastructure and also operators that they get the clients, and we are connected to their networks. They should continuously monitor their network infrastructures and update them, let's see, to the latest release, which is always better and more secure. They should follow the proposals of the standardization bodies. 3GPP, as I saw in the wireless communication slide, has identified very many adversarial attacks, and they have referred to these attacks. Attack detection techniques and frameworks should be part of our networks. And important, they should consider the feedback of clients, because the client may manage to offer very valuable information. A futuristic approach, how I see and I would like to see citizen science after some years, long-term collaborative effort. This is a common picture that we have seen many times in this presentation, that we are connected to the G0B, to the base station. And as you understand, this is a virgin, let's say, connection, right? There are benign data. Nobody has managed now to break your system. When the adversary appears, what you can connect what we call malicious data, right? Here I put an adversary that says that transmitted the fake email, or I don't know, they try to steal something, etc. So what is this thing? This is a real database, right, of benign and malicious data of real connection. This cyber threats database can be extremely useful, and if we can collect, of course, with the user's consent, right, in a voluntary level, anonymized observations, because we should not, even if we run a cybersecurity framework, we should not know information about you. If we manage to gather these data from users and organization, I believe that we will be able to detect cyber threats in real time. It needs a lot of work about how we can collect this data respecting the privacy of users, and also what kind of data and messages are more useful for the attack detection. But it can be, in my opinion, the milestone of collaboration for a milestone of collaboration in citizen science, in cybersecurity. The final remarks, as we saw, cybersecurity affects everybody. Privacy matters, awareness matters, education matters. We should know what happens. Very important is that citizens can contribute to cybersecurity, and as we saw, digital resilience is a collaborative effort. So the triptych, I put it again: awareness, protection, and mutual contribution can give solutions and can offer a secure navigation in several digital services. So references, the majority of this information was included in the second part of my PhD, and there's also, it's not only cybersecurity collaborative, but also research. So I thank a lot all my co-authors, Tim, Pippo, Almudena, Domenico, Nicolas, and my current colleagues in Abu Dhabi, or the whole group, and especially Christina and Syed for the nice collaboration we have.